All right, so 3 months ago, I started a new business, and I got this business to $100,000 a month in 90 days, right? And I'm going to go over exactly how I did that. So, first of all, guys, this is going to not only be my story of how I did it, but also I'm going to give you guys a ton of pointers and exactly how you can do it as well. So, close $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue for your offer in 90 days with a YouTube personal brand. So this is specifically using YouTube, guys. So if you are a coach, a consultant, an agency owner, an online service provider, a high ticket course seller, etc., this is going to be perfect for you. So we are going to discuss exactly how to do this, exactly how to position your channel, and how I have done it myself, as well as helped a bunch of other people do it too. So basically what you want to do is you want to start off with the fundamentals. You want to make sure that you have a good niche where you're solving real problems for real people that have real money. And that's exactly what all of these different students are doing. So this is one of my students. He did 350K when he launched his SaaS. You can also use this for SaaS, not typical, but he has an info product business, and then he also has a SaaS on the side. And then at courses alone, he peaked at 250K. So together, that's about 600K a month. This student here, this was a relatively new student. They got to about 40K last month. This student here is an absolute killer. He has an incredible business, and they're doing like $1 million a month, but they're scaling it really quickly with ads. So, and then this student here, this was a brand new student, just started. And in their first few months, I haven't gotten the data for March yet, but the first few months they did 5,000 and 4,000. So they hit, looks like over 10K in just their first few months. So this is exactly how they did it. The first thing you want to do is you want to be solving real problems for real people that have real money. The third one is very important because a lot of people get the first two. They try to solve real problems for real people, but unfortunately those people don't have money. And that just makes it insanely difficult to make money. You can still do it. In fact, the biggest brands in the world tend to, appeal to a mass market audience. But if you want to get from zero to a huge number really quickly, you want to be selling things to people that actually have money. You want to be solving people's problems who actually have the money to solve it. They are time poor, but money rich. That's what you want. People who are time poor, but money rich. So they want to hire you in order to save them time and convenience. Convenience and time are incredibly important to people that actually have money. So let's discuss this. This is going to be the hybrid personal branding and how my clients use this to generate 6 figures a month. So first of all, what the heck is hybrid personal branding? And what is personal branding, right? Let's just assume you don't know that. So there are all these people on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram, etc., that are telling you that you should start a faceless YouTube automation channel, right? Don't show your face. You never have to leave your mom's basement. You can make tons of money and just live in your mom's basement playing World of Warcraft for the rest of your life, right? That's faceless YouTube automation. They combine it with like AI automation and all that kind of stuff, right? Guys, do not do that if you want to start a real business. Now, don't get me wrong. I do have a few friends that have started successful, faceless YouTube automation businesses. They have like 10 different channels. Each one of them is making like $3,000 a month. With my main channel, guys, we got it to 300K per month. And with my second business, we got it to 100K per month, right? So I'm doing way more than any of these guys with just one channel, one business, okay? And they've got like 15 different ones. They've got a ton of employees that are doing it for them. It's a massive headache. And the vast majority of people fail with a faceless automation channel. This is the first thing the reason I'm so passionate about this is because when I was first starting YouTube, this is what I did. I tried to start faceless channels. I was too afraid to show my face. I didn't want to put myself out there. I was afraid that, people might see my name and my friends might see it. And, people that I'm going to school with might see it and, blah, 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 blah. And guys, just trust me, nobody cares. Absolutely nobody cares. All right. Just trust me. And even if they do care, who cares? Why would you care about other people's opinions? So there are so many reasons why you want to start a personal brand instead of a faceless YouTube automation channel. It's so much easier to get views initially, to actually grow your channel, and to get people to subscribe and come back and form a real relationship with you. And most importantly, because we are treating this like a business, buy your stuff. Nobody buys from faceless automation channels. So I just want to dispel that myth I'm not going to beat it like a dead horse. If you don't believe me, you don't believe me, but you want to start a personal brand. Now, what about this hybrid thing? What is a hybrid personal brand? Well, the problem with personal brands is you can't sell them. So what you want to do is you want to start a personal brand, and then you want to start a company that's attached to your personal brand that you can actually sell. If you notice this is what all the biggest names do. Russell Brunson started ClickFunnels. He didn't name it russellbrunson.com. He named it clickfunnels.com. Sam Ovens started Consulting Accelerator. Then he sold Consulting Accelerator. And then he started School. Notice he didn't name it samovens.com. However, he does use his personal brand, and all of these guys use their personal brands to promote their business. This is something that I see a lot of people make a mistake of, which is either not doing a hybrid personal brand, or they do it, but they do it in the wrong way. And they make it to where it's incredibly difficult to sell their business later on down the line. So don't do that, guys. Don't do that. So this is going to be, I'm not going to hold anything back. You can just copy paste this strategy. This is the stuff that's working. And honestly, there's never been a better time to start on YouTube than right now. YouTube is currently pushing new channels, right? They saw TikTok doing it. They see TikTok taking up a lot of their market share, and they decided to do it as well. I don't know how long this is going to last. It's been going on for a few months. Could be a few more months. I don't know. Maybe they're going to stop it, but they are currently promoting brand new channels. Okay. So, and also channels that haven't been uploading, but they uploaded a little bit. They're promoting those channels. So this is the best time to start. Additionally, YouTube is going through a process right now where they are like the people that consume YouTube content are a little bit tired of this super overly edited Mr. Beast style, crazy retention editing type of content where like every 2 seconds there's something popping up on the screen and there's like a laugh track and there's like just crazy amounts of edits and it takes like a month to edit one single video. People are tired of that type of content. What they want is raw, authentic content. Very similar to what I'm doing right now. I'm talking to you. This is just a Loom video. Nobody cares, guys. Nobody cares. All a sophisticated audience cares about, aka people who actually have money, is that you are delivering value. That's all that a sophisticated audience cares about. They don't care about all the fancy stuff. That's what mass market audiences care about. And even mass market audiences, you see guys like Sam Sulik going into one of the most saturated spaces on the internet, which is fitness, and absolutely crushing it. So, part one, positioning. You want to position yourself as either an expert or a learner, okay? Now, 95% of you watching this video, maybe even 99% of you should position yourself as experts. And I know what you're thinking because 95% of my clients think, oh, I'm not an expert in anything. Well, compared to the general population, you are absolutely an expert in something, almost certainly, unless you're like a 13-year-old watching this, okay? So position yourself as an expert like 99% of the time. Figure something out that you are very good at or you can very quickly become very good at, and then position yourself as an expert. Now, let's just say for the 1 to 5% of you that aren't experts out there, position yourself as a learner. And this is basically where you make content like, here's what I learned in the last week. Here's how I got my first client. Here's me doing my first cold calls. So a great example of this is I recorded my first cold calling. I think this should probably bring it up. Yeah, this kid right here. I really like this kid, Moan. I actually watched this video and I commented on it. I thought it was so awesome. This is a great example. So this, he's a kid. I think he's, maybe 16, 17, 18. And, he is not an expert yet. So what did he do? He positioned himself as a learner and he recorded his first time cold calling, which is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love that. It's so much more authentic. It's so much more raw. If you are actually a learner, if you aren't an expert on things, to just position yourself as a learner. Absolutely love that. So if you are on the fence, you're like, oh, I don't think I'm quite an expert. What you can do is position yourself as an enthusiast. So this is kind of a hybrid between an expert and a learner. And a really good example of this one is back in the day. Now, I would say he's probably an expert at this point. But back in the day, there's this guy, Serge Guattari, about a year ago, back in the day, like a year or two ago. And he kind of positioned himself as a learner. And he basically just talked about what he was doing and his strategies. And he did get a little bit clickbaity with it, I'm not going to lie, but he changed a bunch over time and his strategies changed. At first, he was talking about appointment setting and hiring like $3 an hour Filipinos for appointment setting. And then he kind of like moved on to more advanced stuff. And now I think he's doing like growth creator model or something like that. So he moved through a bunch of different phases in his business, but at first he positioned himself as a learner. And a lot of people do this at first, or kind of more of an enthusiast than a learner. Like he definitely knew more than the general population, but he didn't quite consider himself an expert yet. So this is a great example of someone who positioned themselves as an enthusiast. Now, the second thing you want to do, and by the way, we're assuming that you have a good niche, you're a real niche where you're solving real problems for real people that have real money, then you want to position yourself correctly, and you want to be raw and authentic. You want to start recording videos that do not take very much time for you to make. I cannot emphasize how important this is, because so many of you, at least 50% of you hearing this, are going to be like, oh, well, I want to make my videos really good. So I want to properly edit them, and I want every single word to be perfect and blah, blah, blah. And that is one of the biggest reasons why people fail. So the reason you're positioning yourself as either an expert or a learner is because as an expert, you should be able to talk about things off the top of your head with no problem. It should be so easy for you. It's basically like you're having a conversation with your friend or a business buddy, someone else who has a business, and you're just telling them about what you're doing, telling them about what you like. So you want to be so good at the thing that you're doing that you don't need to write scripts for it. At most, you'd maybe just write a few bullet points like this, right? You don't really need to write scripts for it. You just write a few bullet points to remind yourself while you're recording the video, and that's it. These aren't even bullet points. This is just my to-do list for the day, okay? Or if you're not an expert, position yourself as a learner and just simply share with people what you're learning along the way. And again, just sharing with people what you're learning, you shouldn't need to script that out, right? You shouldn't need to script it out, because you're just authentically and honestly sharing what you learned. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but this is a lesson that you learned, right? So it's so important to do that, because if you try to create content like Mr. Beast, I'm telling you right now, it is going to take you like a month, 2 months, 3 months to create one video. And that's another thing I should mention is do not create entertainment content. Only create educational content. Educational content is what causes people to actually buy stuff. People do not buy from dancing clowns, okay? People buy from people that they actually respect, and they think they are an expert, or they think that they know something that can actually help the viewer. So in terms of the content types, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can make more technical content. It's kind of like tactics, like how to set up an email automation or something like that. That can be really good. Don't get me wrong, but you don't want to be known as kind of like the tutorial guy. Because if you're the tutorial guy, people watch your content and it's extremely transactional. So they basically just see you as the tutorial guy, and they're like, why would I ever buy anything from this guy? He just makes tutorials, So these types of content, you can definitely make those, but you don't want to make that your entire strategy. The second type of content, which is my favorite type, is more of a high-level strategy and breakdown of what you do. This is the most valuable type of content, in my opinion, because it actually gets people to take action, and it tells them the fundamentals that are going to work, no matter what, right? These fundamentals are going to work. And of course, you splice in a few little tips and tricks here and there that are working right now, but they might not work 6 months from now. But the overall locus of what you're talking about is just the fundamentals, the things that are always going to work, the strategies that work now and they're going to work into the future. And the third type of content that you want to make is story type content, or VSL, which is video sales letter type content. You just make a VSL, you put it on YouTube, or you just tell your story, tell people about how you signed your first client, tell people about what your day-to-day life is, tell people about how you were able to escape the 9-to-5, tell people about how you were able to start a business and make your first $5,000, right? That kind of thing. That stuff is awesome, super relatable, especially if you're at the early stages and you're not like, making just absolutely balling out, making millions of dollars a year. This type of content does even better in many cases, right? Because people want to see other people that they relate to, and they get inspiration from that. And it's hard to relate to someone who's making millions and millions of dollars a year. So these are the types of content you want to make. And just a pro tip here, guys, every single type of content is a listicle. So whether it's a step-by-step guide, a how-to, a tutorial, a list of things that you should do, like tips and tricks, doesn't matter. Every single type of content is a listicle, and that's how you should structure it. Make some bullet points and then talk about it off the top of your head. preferably. If you have to do more than that, then again, just structure it as a listicle because it's going to be much easier. Don't try to structure it as like an essay or like a book or some kind of comprehensive guide. Just do a listicle and talk about the most important things. Part 3, holy trifecta and video launch. So this is really important, guys. So the most important aspect of a video, assuming you've got the first 2 things down, you're actually giving value, and that should be taken care of in part 2 because you're positioning yourself as a learner or an expert or an enthusiast. Assuming you're hitting all those things, what you want to do, part 3, is focus on the holy trifecta, and that is the thumbnail, the title, and the intro. Can't emphasize how important the holy trifecta is, guys. Thumbnail, title, intro. You absolutely need to make sure you have a good thumbnail, title, intro. Now, one thing that I'm going to say is you don't necessarily have to be the best graphic artist or anything like that in order to have a good thumbnail, title, intro. In fact, a lot of content that's doing extremely well right now breaks all the rules when it comes to thumbnail, title, intro. So you look at like Serge Guattari's videos, for instance. Yeah, his thumbnails are pretty good, but let me show you. Well, first of all, let me show you what his thumbnails looked like at the beginning. It was there were no thumbnails, and he still got thousands of views on these videos because, again, he was being genuine, authentic. Now, Charlie Morgan, I'm going to show you guys this. A lot of his thumbnails are super basic. Again, pretty basic thumbnails, just kind of a picture of him talking, right? A lot of the time, picture of him talking. Look at 395K views, just a picture of him with thumbs up next to his house. Pretty easy, right? So what's important here with the thumbnail, title, intro, the holy trifecta, is that it's authentic, is that it basically makes sense when you put them together. So you notice this is very authentic, and it's almost like he's texting this to you. I figured out how to actually get rich, LOL, right? It's almost like he's texting it to you, and then there's just a simple picture. It's not a fancy thumbnail with the whites of the eyes showing or anything like that. And then the intro, he's very authentic again. So that's how he's positioning himself. He's positioning himself as being very authentic. He's positioning himself as not being like, all the other people who are trying to hit all the keywords and have the perfect title and it's, super good copy. It's almost like a headline on a landing page. And that is how he is positioning himself. And that is very important to understand. You don't want to have like a super fancy thumbnail and then a genuine kind of like authentic type video where there's no editing. If you're going to do that type of video, you want to have a relatively basic thumbnail where maybe you show your background, maybe you show what you're talking about on the screen, etc. So that is, I can't emphasize how important that is. I know it's maybe a little bit hard to understand or grasp, but once you start making content, you're going to understand exactly what I mean. Then part 4 is the cash code system. So cash code is essentially where you just start monetizing. You start actually making money. There are certain ways of doing this on YouTube that are much more effective than others, and we're going to get into that. So I teach you how to do this without having a massive following, without having to do cold outreach, without having to use a bunch of templates or 25-minute ADHD yap sessions that don't give any value. So part 1, foundations, content positioning. One thing it's really big to understand besides the overview that I gave you here is basically everyone is lonely these days. The reason people watch YouTube is because they are bored and or lonely. That is the number one reason that people watch YouTube. Think about it. This is why Twitch is such a big thing as well. They want to have some kind of social interaction with someone without having the social anxiety of actually interacting with a real person. Think about the concept of Twitch, how ridiculous it sounds. You're watching other people play video games. Like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just play the video game yourself? I mean, I get it. Like maybe it's like a little bit of a gag site, but it's huge. Twitch is huge. There's people that make tens of millions of dollars a year on Twitch. And the real reason that Twitch does so well is because it solves a problem. Every business in the world that does really well solves a painful problem. And the painful problem that Twitch solves, and same thing with YouTube, is loneliness and boredom. Okay? I'm just telling you right now, that is the reason that people watch YouTube. So it's 10 times easier to grow with a personal brand, and it's also 10 times easier to make money. YouTube automation channels only make money from AdSense. Hybrid personal brands properly monetized will make at least 10 times the ad revenue. So very important you do that. I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that anymore. Okay. So positioning yourself before publishing yourself. Again, expert, enthusiast, learner, and kind of like a hybrid. The best way to position yourself as an expert, that's the most ideal way. But if you truly aren't an expert on anything, you can position yourself as either an enthusiast or a learner, or kind of a hybrid where you're an expert on some things, but you're not an expert on other things. And a really good way of doing this in a kind of a humble way, where you get the benefits of being an expert, but without the downsides of kind of being seen as this person who's talking down to everyone. A really good way of doing this is, instead of just saying, this is how you become a millionaire, the best way to become a millionaire, you say, how I became a millionaire, or the best way to get clients, how I got my first clients. Videos like that are much more relatable, and there's just something about it that, people are really irritated with the gurus who just yell at them and think that they know everything. And if you're just a little bit more humble about it, and you're just like, how I did this, how I did that, it can really help. So here's a couple examples. How I would make 10K a month if I had to start over again. If I wanted to become a millionaire in 2024, this is what I do. How this content agency packed their sales calendar for 8 weeks, and then full growth creator model course. Okay. So this is just talking about like what they do. It's not the best way to become a millionaire, or the best way to start an agency, or the best way to start a coaching program, or the best way to blah, 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 blah. Best way to get Airbnb listings and make money with real estate. Instead, how I made my first money in real estate using Airbnb. It's something that's really nice. So, and a great example of an expert in the make money online niche would be Charlie Morgan, and now Serge Guattari, although he started off more as kind of like a learner or an enthusiast hybrid. And a great example of a learner is Martial Arts Journey, who just started doing MMA a few years ago. So this guy's pretty cool. I'm into MMA a little bit, and it's fun. Just watching this guy's journey of getting better and better at martial arts. He does not position himself as an expert. What he does is he positions himself as someone who's learning. It even goes in his name, Martial Arts Journey. Right? It's his journey of learning how to get good at martial arts, which is pretty awesome. And another way of this is positioning yourself as an enthusiastic learner. Always be enthusiastic about things. Don't be negative. And then enthusiasts, a great example of enthusiasts would be Gotham Chess. So this is in the chess niche. He is good, but he's not incredibly good, right? He's quite good. I think his rating is like 2,300, which is still incredible, but he's not like good enough to be like a professional and get paid full time as a professional. He's like a high level amateur, maybe a low level professional. And what did he do? He started a YouTube channel, and he positions himself kind of as an enthusiast. He actually like makes fun of himself sometimes for how bad he is at chess, even though he's actually like really good at chess. But even if you are an expert, sometimes it can be good to position yourself a little bit as an enthusiast, like an enthusiastic expert, right? Be friendly to beginners. Be beginner friendly, right? There's a reason that word exists. And he's honestly great at teaching beginners, guys. He's amazing at teaching beginners. I got into chess, during the pandemic again. Played it a little bit when I was younger. Then I got into it again when the Queen's Gambit came out and during the pandemic. And I watched his content a lot, and he's pretty awesome. So he helps basically people who are beginners. He's extremely good at that. In fact, I would argue that people who are lower level, like learners, or intermediates, like enthusiasts, they're probably better at teaching beginners than people who are super high level, like a super grandmaster, like Magnus Carlsen or Hikaru Nakamura, because they're just, what they are talking about would just go so over your head. It's hard for them to even relate to someone who's a beginner because they haven't been a beginner since they were like 4 years old, right? And then hybrid niche broad channels. This is a very interesting thing that you can do. Not very many people do it, but essentially what Alex Hormozi and Nomad Capitalist do. These are two channels. I'm sure everybody knows Alex Hormozi. And then let's see, Nomad Capitalist. So everyone knows who Alex Hormozi is. But basically he invests in businesses. The whole purpose of his channel regardless of what he tells you. The whole purpose of his channel is he invests in businesses that are making like around 3 million a year, and he gets them to the point where they're making about 10 million plus dollars per year. The vast majority of his audience is not going to be in that category. Business owners making 3 million plus dollars a year. However, the more people he reaches, the more people that are business owners making 3 million plus dollars a year are watching his content, right? And that is what he wants. And so that's kind of a way of being kind of expert enthusiast hybrid. He does make a lot of content that is geared kind of towards beginners, just like fundamental content, but it also interests people who are more on the expert side as well. And then Nomad Capitalist, he helps people save money on taxes, and he makes a lot of content. Again, like he only works with 7 and 8 figure business owners. So it's a very small percentage of his audience. He gets millions of views per month, but the type of content that he makes a lot of the time attracts people that aren't necessarily making 7 or 8 figures per month. So he positions himself in such a way where he gets a larger amount of people, but then he's able to funnel those people into the ones who are actually going to buy his stuff, right? So that is essentially what he does. Your qualification process has to be really dialed in if you do this. But yeah, it can be really good. So let's go ahead and break this down a little bit more. So again, you've got your expert, your learner, and your enthusiast. And some of the core foundations of YouTube success, I already talked about this a bit, but video formats, understanding your video format, and eventually you want to pick basically just one format, and at least 80% of your content should be that one format. So listicles, explainers / how-tos, how to set up active campaign, how to get subscribers on YouTube, how to do blah, blah, blah. This can be really, really good, and listicles can be really good. To be honest with you, most of you watching this, unless you have a podcast or something, are probably going to be better off just doing explainers, how to, and listicles. Those are going to be the best ones. And then, of course, you can throw in an interview here and there, testimonials, case studies, these kind of things are really helpful. The reason I like sticking with listicles and explainers / how-tos is because it's just very sustainable to make that type of content. It's just very easy to make it. So those are the 2 main ones you're probably going to be making, and you're mostly going to stick with those. Okay. You could try some of the other ones out, commentary, reaction, this is another word for this is reaction. You can try that out, but most of the time people don't buy from reaction channels, right? You could be reacting to entrepreneurs or something, but people are probably not going to buy from you. Then you've got the icon method. This is basically how you find really good video ideas. So I'm just going to leave this here. Essentially, you can pause the video and go through step by step. This is incredibly important. This is how you find video ideas, and I can't emphasize how important finding the right video ideas is, because if you have the right video idea, your content can be relatively mediocre and you're still going to absolutely crush it. So you can pause this and go through it, but I'm just going to explain it in layman's terms. Essentially, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to find small channels that make pretty mediocre or sometimes even bad content. Just objectively, it's not that good. And yet, some of their videos do really, really well. And you want to find those videos that do really well despite the channel being small and making mediocre content or sometimes bad content. And you want to figure out what the idea of that video is. Because if it's bad content and the video did really well, that means there's a starving crowd of people that are interested in hearing that idea. And you want to just focus on that idea. And then change the title, never copy, change the title, change the thumbnail, but then make a better video, right? Make a better video than what they did. That is the icon method. Okay, so you can pause this, read it if you want. That's more of a detailed breakdown, but I'm not going to go through those details. So YouTube script writing, this is also really important, but to be honest with you, especially if you're a beginner and especially if you're making raw, authentic content, I highly recommend you just make bullet points. So you can even get this simple. In fact, I recommend this to a lot of people. If I can tell that they're a perfectionist and they're an overthinker, I recommend just literally getting a flashcard and writing down a few bullet points, just to remind yourself of what you're going to be talking about. And that's honestly one of the best ways to do it. So that is YouTube script writing. Don't waste too much time with YouTube script writing. Now, there's different types of content that you can make. You can make opinion-based content, and this is what I recommend for most experts. Or you can make fact-based content. So let me just give you an example. Let's say you are teaching people how to get into remote sales. Opinion-based content would be the 5 best sales jobs. Fact-based content would be the 5 highest paying sales jobs. So fact-based, why is that fact-based and not opinion-based? Well, because you can look that information up online. It's on Glassdoor, it's on BLS, it's like readily available on Indeed and a bunch of different sites online. You can look up how much approximately these different sales jobs make. Whereas opinion-based is where you actually have some expertise in the subject and you're able to say like, this is the best because of X, Y, Z. Okay? And generally speaking, if you're an expert, you should mostly be making opinion-based content. However, what I like to do, especially if you hire script writers to kind of do the research for you, is make hybrid content. And this is where they do have some facts that they look up, almost like a newsletter, and they write that down on your script. And you don't have to do it. You just have people do it for you, script writers and researchers. And then you also add in your opinion. And that's hybrid-based content. And honestly, this is really nice, and this is what saves you a ton of time. And this is why I'm able to make multi-6 figures a month with a channel where I only have to spend 4 hours a week on it. And it's because I have people looking these things up for me. I have people doing the icon method for me. I have people script writing for me and doing hybrid type content for me. And that's what really, really makes a big difference. And that's how you're able to get it down to where you're only having to spend a few hours a week on your content. So this one here, viral video process and monetization methods. You can always build a business using your hybrid personal brand and then sell it. This is the difference between a personal brand and a hybrid personal brand. With a normal personal brand, you can never sell it. With a hybrid personal brand, you can. So these are some of the best ways to monetize YouTube. Of course, you have YouTube AdSense. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. I make like over 50K per month in YouTube AdSense. It's really nice. But with that being said, this is faceless basement dweller, faceless AI YouTube automation type behavior. If you're just relying on YouTube AdSense, we don't do that, right? They have to get permission from their wife's boyfriend to start a YouTube channel, and you don't. So why would you do that? Why would you start a faceless YouTube channel? Start a personal brand. Get money from AdSense, but don't rely on it. And of course, you have to have 1,000 subs, 4,000 hours of watch time. And yeah, you can make good money with AdSense. I make about 50K per month. I've even had like over 60K months with AdSense. Affiliate marketing / having your own course is a lazy way of making pretty dang good money. You can make much better money than with YouTube AdSense if you either do affiliate marketing or you have your own course. And it's really lazy because you can automate a course relatively easily, and affiliate marketing, they basically do all the work for you. So affiliate marketing, if you're not aware, it's basically where you market someone else's product. Maybe it's an info product, a course, some kind of service, etc. Someone clicks on your link, they buy the product, and you get a percentage of the sale. That's affiliate marketing. And then affiliate networks such as Impact, CJ Affiliate, Share a Sale, Rakuten, ClickBank, etc. There's a bunch of affiliate networks. You can also, my favorite way of finding good affiliates is just go to websites and see if they have an affiliate section or a referral section or a partner section at the bottom. And then I contact them if they do. I click on it and I submit. And a really good example of someone who's absolutely crushing it with affiliate marketing is Thomas Gannett. And I think this is an amazing example because this guy barely uploads. So this guy's making like 100K per month and he barely uploads. His last upload was like 6 months ago, 6 months ago, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 7 months ago, 10 months ago, 1 year ago, 1 year ago, 1 year ago, et cetera, et cetera. And he's making like 100K per month. He promotes Go High Level specifically. So that's a really good example of someone who's crushing it with affiliate marketing. And like I said, my favorite way is just looking at websites, checking out what other YouTubers are doing, looking at the websites and seeing if they have an affiliate program. Another way of making money is sponsorships. I make a good amount of money from sponsorships as well. It's not my favorite thing to do because they have a lot of power over what you do and like how you promote them, and it can be a little bit annoying going back and forth. Of course, you can always hire someone to go back and forth with the company as well, so it's not such a pain for you. And that's what I do. So I barely ever even make contact with a company. But basically, this can be really good. Not my favorite way of making money. If you are going to do a sponsorship, do a flat rate plus affiliate commission. Also, never negotiate your own sponsorships. Never negotiate your own sponsorships. Have somebody else negotiate it for you or pretend to be somebody else. Do not negotiate your own sponsorships. I'm not going to explain to you why that is. Okay, you put yourself at a huge disadvantage if you negotiate your own sponsorships. A lot of people hire an agency to do this for them. That's what I personally did. But yeah, don't negotiate your own sponsorships. Another really good one is memberships, SaaS, anything that's MRR, right? So read the books by Russell Brunson. He started ClickFunnels. It's going to be like a $10 billion company. So so many different ways of doing this. Discord servers, of course, creating a SaaS product. Invest Answers had a membership. He's a really good YouTuber. He covers crypto. I follow his channel. I like him. He has a membership group. He's doing over 100K per month. Good stuff. SaaS takes a lot of skill to pull off, whereas memberships don't take nearly as much skill. But of course, SaaS companies sell for 10 to 15 times their yearly revenue, not profit, revenue. So SaaS is the most profitable, business model you could start. But honestly, it's probably not good for 99% of you. What is good for 99% of you, the best way of making money by far, is high ticket products, guys. High ticket products, courses, coaching, consulting, agency, online service providing, this type of thing. Amazing way of making money. This is by far the best way of making money with a personal brand. There's tons of people that are absolutely crushing it. So there's courses, there's high ticket, there's kind of hybrid offers where it's like maybe part course, part agency, part coaching, etc. Typically, the hybrid offers are the best ones. That's what my offer is, where I do some of it with them, some of it's done for you, some of it's done with you, and then some of it is do it yourself. And that's what gets people the best results. And Boyd Cluess, for instance, is doing about $1.5 million a month. He basically has a cybersecurity business where he teaches people how to get into a very specific type of cybersecurity. There's people making like 250K, 200K. He was making that in his job. It's called PCI compliance. And he teaches other people how they can do it as well. He's doing about 1.5 million a month. And his coaching program is $17,000, and he gets people jobs too. And you can make even more with high ticket, even if you have a tiny channel. I mean, there's tiny channels like Serge Guittari. He's got like 19,000 subscribers. He's making 600K per month. If you do high ticket the right way, you can make a ton of money doing this. And this is absolutely what I recommend doing. If you're really, really lazy, just do affiliate marketing in your own course. But if you're just a little bit, like you just want to work a little bit harder, do high ticket. Okay. So that's my recommendation. That's how it's done. Now, if you want to fast track this, I didn't hold anything back, but if you want to fast track this, you can book a call with me. We also have free guides, free training on exactly how you can grow and make money from your YouTube channel. I've helped a bunch of people. These are some of my students. All of these people absolutely crushing it. The worst student here is making 12K per month. The best students here are making millions of dollars a month. I've gotten 4 people to 8 figures a year, gotten about 15 people to 7 figures a year, and a ton of other people to 6 figures a year. So book a call with me, talk to me. I am selling you something. I'm just going to be upfront with you. I'm selling my own time. I work personally with people. I'm also very picky about who I work with. But yeah, go ahead, book a call with me. If you're here now, you're here early. And if you want your own personalized, tailored for you channel that'll have leads getting in line to pay you, book a call. Link is in the description.